What's up, guys? Welcome to the High View Podcast, the podcast dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer who are seeking community and healthy views on worldly topics. I'm here with my better half, as always, Alexis, my wifey.
Hello.
How's it going?
Wifey.
Good to see you.
Here. Good to see you too.
Long time no see, no?
I see you all the time. But
5 seconds. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. If this is your first time, we welcome you. This is a podcast where we go over a lot of different topics from a higher view, so to speak. In this episode, it's really just going to be catered especially to the men out there. So if you're a guy, you might want to stick around. And if you're a woman, you definitely want to stick around because you're definitely going to want to learn about this.
Absolutely.
Just hear what we have to say. This podcast is really came from a lot of the information that I learned, came from my men's group. And the book that we are reviewing, that we go through every week, is called Wild at Heart. An amazing book. If you're a guy out there, you're looking for something to read or somewhere to start and your next journey or next direction, that's a really, really good book to start with. It's an amazing book. It changed my life. So a lot of the ideas that we are going to be talking about today came from that book or stemmed from that book. I would definitely recommend to grab this book. So, as always, we will start out with, how you doing?
Good. I'm doing good. Let's see. I was trying to think about my day.
Yeah, what's going on?
My day was a pretty good day. I mean, it was pretty gloomy outside.
Surprisingly,
a little
70 degrees. It's mid-December. Yeah. What's going on?
I don't know, but it's messing with me. Let me tell you what. I was like, I am not gonna let this weather dictate how I feel today. Okay,
it's crazy, man.
I had to get over a little bit of some not feeling very motivated today, but I did get on the other side of that, and it felt good. It felt good to not let the weather dictate how I feel.
For sure.
But that's really how my day was. It was good. I had a client today, did a really nice cut, and had my stretch and grow. And now here I am doing my podcast with my husband. One of my favorite things to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, how are you? How was your day?
I'm great. Today was actually a really easy day.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. My workload has been from here to here lately, so it's been really good. But there is a lot of sickness going around right now.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm. There's 5-6 people out of office right now.
Wow.
A couple people went home today because they didn't feel good. So
even with the kids during stretch grow, I mean, everybody's
really?
talking about it.
It's going around, man. I mean, it may be just the part of the year, or it could be just the weather is night and day every single day. So it affects everybody. It definitely hit me. I mean, it affected me in a way. But yeah, I'm pretty good for the most part. How am I? I'm good.
Well, that's why we're asking.
Yeah.
It's kind of self-check-in. It's kind of how am I? I haven't really thought about that.
I mean, I'm just thinking about my day, but
yeah,
I'm good. I don't really have any complaints. I've honestly just felt relaxed these past couple weeks.
That's really nice. It's a blessing.
I think taking a step back from all of the things that we're doing to fill our schedule has really, really took a load off.
Yeah.
It's just been night and day difference.
Yeah, we're in a more chill season.
Mm-hmm.
I know
we're still on the go.
I know we stepped back, we were really involved in age classes and things like that, and we kind of stepped back for the last few weeks. There were only 6 weeks or something like that. We only did half of it, and then we're this is a little much in this season. So it was nice to just kind of take a step back, focus on our marriage, focus on the things that we're supposed to be doing now. And sometimes you don't need to load yourself with so much. Try to, it's okay to say no to certain things.
Yeah. It's a little different when you're married. It's a different story.
Yeah.
But you have to prioritize this. And that's something that I really had to come to the conclusion on, and I feel like our schedule was kind of getting a little more busy and it wasn't allowing me to prioritize, so it was a good move.
Yeah. When you're married, this is the first thing that matters. Before work, before family, before anything is of course God first, but marriage.
Just the second one.
It's the second one. Even when you have kids, your marriage comes first. That's how important it is. It's your first ministry. Mm-hmm. I'm learning that what happens here flows through the things that we do. So,
sure. So if we weren't good right here, this wouldn't be good right here.
Yeah.
And people could people could see that.
You would definitely be able to see it. Tell you what.
Hear it through the mic, see it through the camera, And just to throw it out there, if you are strictly listening to us, we are also on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces anytime you want.
You are beautiful.
No, but okay.
Very divinely created.
Today, I want to ask all the men out there, this is going to be especially catered to you. What is your opinion when it comes to the question, what should a man look like these days? Not physically, but when you look at some of the qualities that a man has, it sounds like the East Coast accent. A man has. What do you think it should be? Is a man somebody who is just low maintenance, doesn't care, or is a man who's someone who's tough? Is a man someone who just provides for his family, brings the check home, always has food on the table? What is that image to you? What do you think that looks like to you? What do you think that looks like? Like when off the top of your head, what is the first thing that comes to your head? Like just be the first thing.
Leader. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay. That's a really good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your answer wasn't as good as that. Because what I'm about to say is, in today's world, being a man is not at all what the world has shaped us to be. Whatever you think, or the first reaction you think about a man, my first gut reaction when I ask myself this question is somebody who is almost just low maintenance, doesn't care. I'm not going to be needy, stuff like that. That's what comes to my head. But in fact, that is exactly not what a man is. And it's actually a big facade. Now, for the next couple of minutes, I would like you guys to completely erase and put down the walls or put down the thoughts or imageries that you have of a man that you have gained throughout your life. Put all of those down for the next couple minutes as I speak about this. And when we go into this, I really would like you guys to just soak this in as much as possible and just take in what I'm saying. It's not my knowledge this is coming from. This is from facts. This is from lots of research. This is from lots of experience. So as always, we're going to keep this on the biblical truth because the Bible portrays a perfect imagery of what a man should be. So when you look at the Bible, you look at all the stories, God from Genesis to Revelations, all the stories include God being in battle, God being on an adventure, God taking risk, and God always having somebody to rescue, which is us. Now, knowing that, we can come to the conclusion, it's pretty obvious to tell, if we are made in God's image, then these characteristics are pretty deeply rooted in us. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And what that book, what I'm talking about, that book, Wild at Heart, that is really the main 3 points that it sticks with throughout the whole book. If you read that book, you'll see the trending characteristics that it talks about. And if you are part of my group and you're listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A beauty to rescue, an adventure to live, and a battle to fight. All throughout the book and all throughout the Bible. So before I jump into this conversation, I want to say a phrase that is from the book I'm talking about, Wild at Heart. And the phrase is been life-changing ever since I read it. And the phrase is, life is not a problem to solve. It is an adventure to live. Life is not a problem to solve. It is an adventure to live. And when I heard that quote, when I read that quote, that hit me like a brick. Because I think as men, we can be especially analytical and logical and wanting to think through everything like it's a problem to solve.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can have that boiling over to every life situation. Like, why am I feeling this way? It's a problem. It's not an adventure to go through.
That's really
it's
awesome.
Deep, man. It's really crazy. It changed my life. It's not a problem to solve, it's an adventure to live.
I feel like I can even take that advice.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
It's an adventure to live.
It's honestly, it's just a phrase that chills you out.
Yeah.
It's just like,
just go with it.
Weight off your shoulders,
Just go with it.
So I want to invite you guys to take a look back. Take a look back from your childhood. What did you do as a kid? Like me, I was growing up, always outside, always having fun, going to do stuff, taking adventures, taking risks, always doing some dumb stuff, boy stuff, that's what they call it, boy stuff. Maybe you fought with your older brother like I did.
Can I see something?
What?
What I don't remember what episode it was. It was like 2 episodes ago. Yeah. And you were like, kick a stick, break a window.
Kick stick, break a window, start a fire, all of that.
It was so funny when we heard that. We started laughing so hard.
No, but like that, stuff like that, like I would do stuff like that. That's why it just flowed out of me so naturally.
You
'Cause
did.
I really would do stuff like that, dude.
I don't remember you saying that until I heard that episode. I was like, what the heck? Kick a stick, break a window, start a fire. You said it so fast too, and it just like flowed. Kick a stick, break a window, start a fire.
If you look back and you can think about all of those memories that you used to act like when you were a boy, just a youngin, you know?
A youngin.
Just when you was a youngin, you know what I'm saying? But you can look back and you can totally acknowledge that those qualities, if you look at the characteristics, look from a higher view, okay? Look from a higher view right now. If you look at those characteristics, you can tell that you were born with those things. As a boy, you were born to be adventurous. As a boy, you're born to be curious. If you saw a tunnel, you cannot tell me you did not want to go down that tunnel. I remember when we were growing up, me, my cousin Ruben, and my older brother Romeo, we would always go walk down to this elementary school that we went to. It was about a mile away, maybe a little more. And past the elementary school, there was like this dirt alley that we would walk to. And you go down far enough to this alley or dirt road, whatever it is, and then you go to the right and there's a big landfill just hidden. You know, it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's West Texas, so like there's a bunch of dirt and all that stuff. But we would go there, and because it was secret, you know, we were just like, let's go do this. Like, let's go hide over here and like start things on fire. Like, we just burn everything. It was honestly, it was crazy. I still have a scar right here. You see that
God.
on my eyelid?
Yeah, I know. I see it.
It's from starting fires. Yeah. But we would do that, you know, and when I look back and I think about how adventurous we were, it's so easy to see how those characteristics are born with us. And when we look now, what do we hear? Grow up. Be a man.
Oh, he's just a boy.
Man up.
He's just being a boy.
He's just being a boy.
I know. He's just being a boy. Yeah, you know, boys.
Now, when you hear these things, when I hear these things, and when I think about the effects of these words, or when people say this thing, is just like a puppy. Okay, what do you do when you get a puppy?
Oh my god, it's so cute.
She's doing that. I'm over here thinking about how to train this thing, right? I'm over here trying to think about how to keep the pee off of my floor. So I'm gonna train this thing. I'm gonna put it in a kennel. I'm gonna teach it how to act right. Right? Tell me the difference between somebody telling me to man up and stop being a boy, and then the difference between training a puppy on how to act right. There is no difference. It's the same thing. What I'm trying to get at, men these days, when we act in our roots, when we act out of what we were actually born with, we are told to stay domesticated, get domesticated, be in the kennel, calm down, be a man, don't act like a child. When I look around these days, I go into the office, churches, when you go into the church, even just in a normal public setting, at a coffee shop or something, it's easy to see that men are not what we are supposed to be. We're far off from where we are supposed to be. And that's a lot of what this book talks about, is we are so far off because of how the world has directed us to be, directed us how not to be, really. They've told us to calm down. They've told us to stop being a boy. They tried to put us in a kennel. They tried to take our roots away. You know, and it's...
So what does that look like? Like when you're in public settings? How do you think a man should look like?
I think a lot of the character a man should carry is what you said, a leader. And there's so many different ways to bring this out. You know, I think there's so many different personalities in people, and I think that's so okay that people don't have to mimic another man to make themselves feel like a man. Like whatever you see as manly or masculine is not always going to be the way to act. You know, act in your uniqueness, you know, like we said, honor your uniqueness and act in the way that you were supposed to act. Like, I'm a chill dude. You know, I'm not everywhere. Like, I'm not gonna like be hyped up all the time. Like, there are some men that are like that, and I know some. You know, like my friend, he's very high energy, and that's totally okay. That's how he is. And
That's his uniqueness.
yeah, and just because I'm not that way or he's not like me has no difference on how much of a man we can be, you know, or the way that we act has to be completely different. The way that we bring out our characteristics has to be completely different because of how our personalities are. You know, your personality is different and let that be. This doesn't mean that I've always been like 100% on my A game. Like I know where I'm from, how I came, and what I need to do. Like this is not what this is. You know, this information is something that had to get implemented in my life, had to get rewired in my brain because I had to take the time to realize that the world is actually changing how we should be acting. The more and more that I realize that, the more and more it makes me want to go do guy stuff. Like I want to be out in the woods. I want to go take an adventure. I want to go do stuff like that. And if you are wanting like that kind of connection with yourself, like as a man, I highly, highly, highly recommend going on a camping trip, taking a retreat, go do something, dude. Like that would be the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself. Honestly, in my opinion, is to go out in the wilderness, go hunting. You know, I just got back from a hunting trip, and what better time to talk about how to be a man?
How did that make you feel doing that?
I don't even. It's unexplainable, man. It's really unexplainable. Just free.
Yeah.
You know, there's no boundaries. There's no limits. Like we're walking around. You want to shoot a gun? You just bat, 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 bat.
Because you're hunting.
Yeah, I mean, but like say we're just walking around.
Yeah.
I climbed a tree and sawed off a branch. Like
you sawed off the branch?
I mean, I tried to, but we had to pull it down. Because remember I told you the branch broke the RV?
Tell me that.
Yeah.
Aww.
Oh, I didn't tell you that I climbed the tree, but remember?
No, like trying to saw off.
No, it was because, so Anthony had a big knife, like this big, and it had like a saw thing on the part of it, on the back of it, and I tried to like saw off the branch. It was the branch that broke the RV. And we're like, all right, we're not going through this thing until we break this branch and take it off out of the way. So I climbed a tree and broke a branch, just to let you know.
Wasn't it sticking? You weren't kicking a stick. You were breaking a branch.
I was breaking a branch. Yeah, but it's just free, man. It's such an amazing feeling, especially being on mountains. And like that is on a whole other level.
When are you gonna take me back, babe?
I know. I need to. I really do.
While we were talking about this, I had a memory pop up in my brain when we were at Whole Foods, and you got on the cart, and you do that pretty often, and you'll like write it down. You know what I'm saying? And this older guy walked by. He was like dad age, you know, and he walked by and he was like, "They never grow up." And I was like, that's fine with me. Like, I don't, you know.
I'm riding it, dude. I'm riding it till I get this close to hitting the car. I'm taking the risk.
I think it's good to be like that. You know, you're always connecting to your like child self. And you're never getting to a place where you're like, oh, I'm too old to have fun or too old to be adventurous. I think that, you know, like you said, life isn't a problem to solve, but it's an adventure to live. So it's like when you get into a place and you're like, oh, like, I feel like that just becomes like lazy, like laziness when you do nothing but just watch TV all the time and you don't do anything adventurous or anything other than just sitting on the couch. Like, that's a boring life. That's not an adventurous life. That's like, I'm gonna just do my corporate job or whatever job you have. Even if you're an entrepreneur, I'm just gonna do my job and then I'm just gonna sit and do nothing. Like,
it's domesticated.
And I'm not saying like that's
sit in this little box.
And I'm saying that's not as bad. Like, we watch our shows, we chill on the couch. Like, I look forward to those nights, but it's like plan things, do things outside of your home. Like, don't just get lazy, you know.
I think it's another thing to live that way, and it's another thing to also know your roots and still live that way. You can have a cross, you know. You can't completely live that way and feel like connected to your kid self, feel like connected to your inner man. You know, just like I just went on a trip. You know, I do stuff like that so I can connect with that. You know, so I can feel that feeling. I need my alone time outside. I need my alone time driving. listening to music or doing whatever it is that I like to do to connect with my kid self, to connect with my inner man.
And even just getting your like thoughts together and what I was saying, like you were saying, a good balance. I also think it's a good balance to not let go of that, but also there's maturity that, you know, you have to have a mature side to be a leader. Like a child isn't going to like lead, let's say a 2-year-old or something, I'm just going to use that age, isn't going to lead like a whole room. They're not spiritually mature.
Yeah.
So I think there still needs to be like because a woman wants their husband and a man, or a woman is looking into a man for spiritual maturity and to be their spiritual leader in the home. So it's like you still have to have that too.
Until you can lead yourself, you can never lead somebody else. Ever. It's one quality of a leader. You have to be able to lead yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's literally nothing more attractive than a man being spiritually mature and being able to lead yourself so you can lead your wife and your family. Like, there's nothing more attractive than that. And I can testify that I have a pretty good one.
She likes it. She likes it. No, but going back to the discussion, a man should be fierce. A man should be passionate. A man should be vulnerable at times, you know, not all the time. You're not going to be in the middle of Walmart crying, you know, but you should be vulnerable. You know, I'm vulnerable to you. I'm passionate about you. I'm passionate about this. I have passion. I'm fierce about this. I'll fight for this. You know, that's what brings a man. That's what the qualities a man should have. Now, do you think that that is very common these days to see that in a man?
I mean, I think there's a good balance out there. I think there are a lot of people out there that know how to walk in that. But I think we need more men to step up and help show other men how to be. Like the next generation that's coming, or those men that never came across this book, or like if you didn't come across this book, how would you know any of these things? So it's like having more people that step up and know already the qualities a man should have and feel like they're walking in what they're supposed to be walking in and help other men coming along.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome that you're doing this.
See, like if I ask you this question, all the guys that are listening, sorry, I forget that some people only do audio, so I can't just point at the camera and look at you. But if you say, yes, I think all men are passionate and they carry out the fierceness, then I will ask you this. Why are there so many lonely women and fatherless children out there from the men that claim to be the men? You know, that's your answer right there. Our world is in an epidemic of fatherless children, lonely women, single women that are raising children because men don't want to step up to the plate and be a man. So this episode is not a how to be, how to act, or how to talk. It's not what I'm trying to bring out. It's not what I'm trying to do right here. What I am trying to do is give you a reminder or even introduce you to the idea of where we come from as men, how we should carry ourselves, how we should remind ourselves of our characteristics. And like I said, we all have so many different personalities. So, okay. Let yourself be you. Let yourself act out how you act out, how you be, like how you handle things, whatever. Like you're you. Let that be. You know, this is not, you have to be this kind of person to be a man. This is, our characteristics are from here. Our roots are from here. We're made in God's image like this. This is what he shows us and how to be. So act in it. Don't try to mimic somebody else, but act in it in your own unique way. Our characteristics, just because our personalities are different, doesn't mean our characteristics change. We're always going to have a battle to fight, a beauty to rescue, and an adventure to live. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys with that. So live by those three things. Remember those three things. A beauty to rescue, an adventure to live, and a battle to fight. Live by those three things, those three characteristics, and those will take you further than you could ever imagine you could go as a man. Promise you that.
I feel like there's layers with that.
There's definitely layers. But the three roots of that, they will carry you for sure.
And that can help you step up to be a father and not let your family be fatherless. That hit me, not gonna lie. Like I felt that. Just I have a heart for children, and even for people like some of our friends that didn't have a father growing up and they're men. And it's just like, how are they supposed to know how to walk in being manly?
Well,
you know?
that's a lot of what as my heart on this episode. So I hope this is speaking to somebody like it spoke to me. This has definitely been life-changing information for me. So I hope you let your walls down, you receive this, and you dig deeper into it. And I highly encourage you to look into Wild at Heart. But with that, we're going to let you guys go. We're going to see you next week.
Yes.
As always, if you made it to the end of this episode, a special place for you in heaven, and we will see you there. Have a good rest of the week, guys, and we'll see you next Saturday. Peace out, guys.